Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast.
Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to our seasonal rendition where we overview the previous season. Obviously, this being summer 2023 season review. We had, I wouldn't say it was a transformative summer of anime, but definitely still some special moments, some good laughs, and I would say overall an enjoyable experience. So just before we start, just to plug our socials as seen on screen, you can hit us up and keep in contact with us via Instagram at the .ak_mindset and on Twitter or X at the AK Mindset. With me today is Daniel. How's it going? Did you enjoy the summer season?
Yeah, it was. I think it was all right. I need to probably review to compare it to spring and winter, but it was. In fact, I think I probably liked either spring or winter more. But you know, it was cool. There was a couple of good shows in there, but yeah, I'd say pretty average if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It wasn't a groundbreaking season of anime. I don't know why, but you know, sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. Sometimes some seasons are not as great and others are superb. But you know, jumping straight into it, I'm going to start with Jobless Reincarnation. We've discussed in the AK update and you know, just other episodes you've been doing. It's come up in conversations. I just want to know in regards to Jobless, we did have the overriding plot line being investigating the teleportation disaster, and then it kind of devolved into Rudis trying to cure his erectile dysfunction. Yeah, what did you think about the overall kind of story progression this season before we get into specifics?
You see, this season is very. I've had an interesting experience with it because first I was just watching it, and then I actually decided to read the light novels for what they were adapting. So like I think they've done volume 7 to just about the start of 10 for this whole season. And now like looking back on it, I can understand why light novel readers complain, because especially for the I'm gonna talk generally. I just feel like the potential that was written was not really reached through the anime, and obviously I understand because of details, but like a lot of the things they cut ended up hurting the story, and thus overall it was a very big step down from season 1 to me, because in terms of like the side characters, in terms of just the setting, it wasn't as interesting, and you know, it was, I don't know, it just didn't really have that same allure. We're used to the world now, so a lot of the novelty that when you first experience is not there. It's not really there to carry you, and especially with the characters that we are surrounded by, I don't think any of them really compared to the first bunch that we were with. So yeah, so it wasn't a really a great season for Jobless, to put it kindly. But what did you think?
Yeah, it was a weird one. It's like you said, it felt like a slightly watered down experience of the first season and the second part of the first season that we got. Especially with some of the characters, they seemed like we were rehashing similar character archetypes. So like when you compare like Sarah and that Rudis matchup early on, it's like it was just like, I feel like we've done this before. We've had this kind of back and forth with a strong level-headed or exuberant young lady who is strong-willed and is fighting for something, and sometimes very dismissive. And we've had that before, and it was just kind of weird to obviously see certain things rehashed. Like you said, because of our experience in this world, it has lost the slight that wow immediate factor and that novelty that initially had. But yeah, I did have some kind of gripes with it. I think you kind of heard a little bit, but I want to kind of get your thoughts on the kind of second significant plot line, which was like the Sylphie plot line. And obviously when Rudis starts attending the university, or was it a college or university?
No, it was a university.
University. Yeah, right. Yeah, cool. Like, what do you think about Sylphie's plotline and what she brought to this season?
So this is something where there was two directions I guess the author thought the character could go, and I understand the direction that they've taken. Me personally, for like what I wanted to see from Sylphie as an older person, this is not really the direction that I thought that I personally like. I understand why it went here, but I guess we can get into that further. I guess her plot line, I did enjoy it. It's just you know, when we were talking about Kaguya and we were just complaining about some of the, you know, the antics.
Yeah.
This is the same issue. Like, it's just, and I understand you don't really have a lot of confidence, but you know, it's when it's something as simple as just removing glasses, and then, you know, but the thing is, then you have to weigh up the insecurity that she has in him not remembering her, and because we already have the knowledge that he probably would remember her, it kind of makes it more frustrating for the watcher. But then I think, again, and this is something where the anime doesn't do as well as the light novels, because in the light novels Fitz is kind of portrayed as a completely different person, because obviously it's a book, and then you only get Sylphie's thoughts from her perspective. She talks about Fitz as if he's a different person, even though when you're watching the show you can easily tell that Fitz and Sylphie are the same, but she talks about Fitz as if they're a whole different entity. So then you kind of get that separation. But yeah, I mean, it was just slightly dragged out and got there in the end, and I even have some issues with how it ended, but I guess we'll talk about that before. Obviously we don't want to talk about it for too long, but yeah.
100%. Like, I agree with everything you said. For me, it was mainly the nature of how it was like tediously dragged out, and it was very unnecessary. Like the whole kind of back and forth with Sylphie and Ariel and the conversations they were having, and I was just thinking, like, just obviously you brought up a good point in regards to like Sylphie doesn't have our perspective in regards to, you know, knowing that Rudis will remember her. So obviously she has that kind of insecurity. But at the end of the day, when it's something especially when you know what he's trying to do, he's trying to look for like his missing family. Like, 2 and 2, you should understand that firstly, in the two perspective, either you're not his whole world, so it won't shock him or like be ridiculous if he didn't remember you, and if he did, it's just like a bonus. I just felt like it was just super unnecessary, and like you said, because you might as well talk about that before the last bit, just the kind of what that led to romantically and stuff, it wasn't it for me. It actually wasn't it for me. I was like, what are you guys doing, especially those last 2 episodes, because you didn't even have to put it in 2 episodes. Like, oh my days, it actually stressed me out. I was watching it and I was like, what is happening? Is this what this season has built up to? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was actually something that was really more significant and pivotal that I viewed, which was just the aspect of new law being introduced, with obviously Nanahoshi also being somebody who's isekai'd into the world. And I thought that is something that is worth building up to, but this is not. What was your take?
So I think I have a different perspective in terms of just, I understand why they were building up to this, because the whole thing with the Rudius erectile dysfunction arc is to all of his relationships prior had been purely physical, and this was more something that was built on a more of a emotional foundation, where he's feeling attraction but to the personality, enjoying time spending with that, and that's where the attraction is coming through. and then that's where it kind of culminates, where first he finds out Fitz is a girl, and then actually Fitz is his childhood friend. So then, you know, it just kind of heightens that emotions he's feeling, and then the physical comes in as well. So I understand why they chose that as the climax. Again, it kind of felt it felt really slow, and when I was reading it, it was I guess I felt it. I didn't really have that many issues with it. It's just one. The thing for me is just like it just happens too fast. Like, okay, you're Sophie, you like me, I like you. Okay, now let's sleep together. I'm like, okay, that transition is just like very, very jarring, and especially in the anime, because they don't animate or adapt any of his inner thoughts when he's going through these decisions. Like in a light novel, you hear what he thinks before he does certain actions, so then the transition isn't as jarring. But like you don't get that in anime, which again is something I think is a misstep. And then to like just to skip ahead, like then he's getting married to her. I'm like, bro, like you guys have not even been in a you're not even in a relationship. And this is fam. He kind of explains his reasoning in the light novel, so I kind of understand, but like still, it's just like I don't know. It doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence when it comes to romantic development in the series. Because I'm just gonna say it now. Because my issue with the Sophie thing is they separated her and Rudius because they didn't want her to be overly dependent on her, and it just seems like that just had the opposite effects, and she's just the same person she was when she was in the village, and she's still like obsessed with him and overly dependent, doesn't want him to leave. And even though she's gone through this thing where she was with the princess, she's just this kind of the same obsessed character, and she doesn't really have much depth to her, in my opinion. And I kind of would have liked to see her character go in a different direction that wasn't just so obsessed with Rudy. But you know, I guess that's what the author wanted to do. So I just wasn't really a fan of that. I didn't love Sophie, but like I could have liked what she could have became. But this is what they decided to do. So
yeah, it's a big mess. I do want to comment that the word you used was very, very funny to me given the context. When I said the climax it came to, I was dying. But I was like, I have to let this guy. I have to let him land. I can't stop him midway. That'll be too rude. But yeah, man. Crazy season of Jobless. Quickly, what did you think about the what I talked about? Was it the other girl that's been isekai'd into the world, and we see like the a complete opposite of what Rudis is. She wants to go back home. He doesn't want to, but it seems that they're gonna find mutual grounds, obviously, because she needs his ability to manipulate mana and use magic, and he needs her knowledge of ruins and stuff like that. What do you think about that, bro?
That was easily the best part of the season, and you know, it just kind of brought me back to that season 1 feeling, learning the stuff, like learning that she got the same goal from the start of because that's the same girl that he saved from getting run over by the truck. That's the same girl who got taken into the world. So that was just like, whoa. So what's even going on? And then to know that, like, because I went back to watch the first episode, and apparently it seems like one of her other friends got isekai'd as well. So I don't even know what happened to him. So that whole thing with the summoning, and then Sophie's reaction as well, it kind of like, that was like, yeah, that was a really good revelation, just the lore. And then when I really liked how they portrayed them speaking in Japanese, because obviously they're speaking Japanese all the time, but they're not actually speaking Japanese in the show that they're from. They're speaking the human tongue. So then the way they portrayed that, and the switch, and then you just have Sophie looking confused because she can't interpret the language. So yeah, that Nanahoshi was easily the best part of the season. And you know, she that was the episode where I think the show was looking to find its feet before it lost it again. And then I'll just quickly comment on Sarah. She got done dirty because in the light novel, she's a lot more fleshed out than just being an Eris clone. And because they decided not to adapt any of her perspectives, because in the light novel, she has chapters where it's just talking from her point of view. You don't understand any of her motivations, why she acts the way she does. It's not just because she's trying to be an Eris clone. She actually has valid reasons why she acts that way. But lots of people who watch the anime will never know because they decided to skip those chapters, which is it just makes the story feel half. You don't get the full story.
Yeah, that sounds like we were done a disservice this season in multiple ways. And obviously it had a couple moments, like you said, the lore aspect and, you know, going back to its roots. But I would say for me, it wasn't enough to say that this season was good.
Yep, agreed.
Moving on, because we could spend forever on that. Second anime we're going over is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. Even though this show hasn't concluded, we can't wait. We actually can't wait for it to finish. So we're going to discuss what we've seen this season. First, I want to mention how cold the anime opening is. It's actually it's a whole vibe, bro. It's actually a vibe, like so enjoyable. But getting into the series, how did you, just for like a general overview, how do you think the series kind of compares in like the genre of magic and academics?
I feel like they've done a great job of making, because, you know, we've seen schools, magic schools. I mean, I'm pretty sure at least everyone has seen an anime with a magic school. They've kind of, me personally, I feel like they've made this very distinct. You know, I feel like they've captured the environment. They've set out this world. They're like, Kimberly, this place is dangerous, and we clearly understand why. And from the first episode, and, you know, just the environment that these students are entering, you know, how only, I think 20% fail or something like that. Yep. Because they lose to the spell, or, you know, they just can't hack it. I think they did a brilliant way just setting up the school before, you know, introducing us to the main cast. And this show has been a sleeper hit for me, because I started it and I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good, but I've just ended up really enjoying it. It's been one of my favorite shows of the season.
Yeah, and I'm glad I jumped on the wave with you. Like you said, just there's a rawness with it and like a uniqueness to its approach. I love the harsh reality of the school. The school seems like something they're fighting against as well. Like, they're going through like a lot in regards to their day-to-day and the adventures they're on, but also the harsh reality is that just making it through just normal academic life is going to be crazy. Some of the classes they're taking, firstly, these teachers do not care about these kids, bro. These teachers actually don't care about these kids. It's
very true.
I was like, Ofcom need to pull up. Somebody needs to review, because it actually ain't it at all. How do you think? Because for me, the thing that kind of impressed me the most is how it kind of like subverted our immediate expectations. It gave us like the normal introduction where there's an event, you bring certain kids together, they become friends, and, you know, that kind of generic school-based adventure stuff. But then you have like other undertones, like the Oliver aspect, where he has his own like revenge plot line that he's trying to go through, and it's kind of very that plot line when he's like in his dark side. He's so different from the Oliver we know. Like, it's like a complete shift of character. How did you enjoy that aspect?
Oh, so that was a big twist, because, you know, up until that point, you know, we're just chilling, we're in the school, we're doing nothing, and then he's talking to the teacher, and then like, okay, they meet up, and then he's trying to take down the teacher. I'm like, what's going on here? Because you had you had like inklings when he's talking to the girl that keeps following him, and then we see his cousin. But then that moment when he's taking on Darius, and then he's like actually trying to kill him, I was like, whoa, this is just added another layer to the show, because now we've got revenge. He's trying to get revenge on all the teachers, you know. And then I don't even understand, because it seemed like something happened with him and his mom, the teachers and the mom, and yeah, like that just adds another mystery that, you know, kind of keeps you engaged, because you know he's at the school, but he's also trying to do this other thing, and he's even got a whole faction within the school already. Crazy.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like I think that's the thing that kind of draws you in with this show, and that's what has made it so great, is the multiple like dimensions, and even the stuff with like hinting at discrimination between species and stuff like that, and how different or students all have their own underlying kind of goals or things they're pushing towards. Not all of it is pure, but that kind of the beauty of Kimberly, this school, is that they're all in the position to kind of get as strong, and whatever they are trying to attain, if they're strong enough, they'll be allowed to attain it. Which kind of you know makes you understand how my guy is in a revenge plotline, because these teachers, they have the same kind of mentality. They're like, whatever we can attain, that's within our power. If it's there, we'll take it. So that's the whole aspect of the show, and it's crazy for me. I love like the silly stuff, like random, like Pete being a reversary, whatever, just randomly changing into a woman. Just some of those moments, it feels like, bro, it's crazy. It's actually crazy.
So if a man gets pregnant and then he changes into a man, what happens? Because the woman is no longer there.
Bro, that kid is no longer there. That kid is gone. It's very, maybe they will have something for that.
maybe. That's a crazy concept though, reversey. If I found out I was one of those people, I just cry, because like, bro, you can't even control it.
For real. I understood why they all try to hide their identity, and you know only come out together, like their social group. But I was surprised there were so many. I was surprised how common it is, because initially it seemed like such a rare thing, and then suddenly they're like, nah, we have a form group, guys. We meet up every month to talk about our life experience and eat snacks, and you know everybody's welcome. Is very interesting. Who was like your favorite character so far?
Hey man, if you heard the update, you know I'm a Shella stan. I love Shella. She's awesome. I just like her. You know, she's kind of like the mother of the group so far. You know, her and Oliver, they're looking after the other guys. They're always making sure they're doing all right in their classes, and she's a breath of fresh air. Always supporting the others, and you know, overall good vibes. A bit airheaded in terms of like, you know, sometimes she doesn't understand like some of the things she can say is can be a bit I guess denigrating, but you know, overall she's a great person. And she also had a secret, but I'm not gonna say in case people haven't watched. And then I'd also want to shout out Nanao, because she makes me laugh, and she's also raw.
So raw. She's actually the coldest. When her hair goes white,
she's raw.
It's over for you, man. It's actually over
activated. Activated, I'm telling you, man.
She's actually cold. Is there anything else you want to say about the show before we go into the next, bro?
No, but I wanted to hear your favorite characters as well.
Oh, my favorite character. It was a kind of slow burner, and it's actually, first it was Katie. I still love her. I still love
Katie.
Yeah. I love her softness. I love her approach to life, her enthusiasm, how she supports you know, others, and how she, even in like conflicts with people, she's trying to be like the voice of reason. and she also understands that she might not be the strongest, but she's always willing to like risk everything. Like, it's crazy. Like, she knows that she cannot be, she's not at the level to be approaching certain people, but as when her friends are involved, she said, okay, what are you saying? And I love the kind of storyline with her trying to be, you know, the link between demi-humans and normal human beings. That was interesting for me. That aspect of that, the discrimination and stuff like that, and they're trying to, you know, she's not living in ignorance. A lot of the other sorcerers or wizards were living in sort of ignorance, just presuming that these demi-humans, there's no possibility that they can have any ounce of reason or ability to think logically. But she's like, and then for some reason that gives these people the right to mishandle them or treat them as slave or second rate. She's like, nah, we don't do that. And I just find that so sweet. And then also I really like Guy. I just like the humble farmer kind of persona, but also he's one of those people, like, he's just like the glue of the group. Like, he'll just be funny, vibrant, calm, and you know, he always has knowledge, farming knowledge to spew out. So he's cool. Those are my two favorite. But obviously Nanoi, cold, and obviously Oliver, it goes without saying, cold. Oliver's a weird one because, like, sometimes I think it's even in the one of the latter episodes, they were like, you're not as strong as everybody else, but what is it about you that bridges the skill gap? You know what I mean?
Brains.
He's different.
It's the brains, bro.
He's actually different. Do you see the fight against I forgot the name, but it's when they were doing the trio fights, when he was one-on-one with the guy, and
yeah, I've seen it.
What a cold, just everything about the fight, using understanding distance. Bo was like understanding that because you are so proud and used to, you know, using magic, how effective would you be close range and stuff like that. He's always thinking. He's the GOAT.
If he's trying to take on the teachers, I understand why. That's why whenever I see the students try to step to him, I'm like, bro, you guys are not you guys are not in the same league. This guy's trying to kill the teachers. Like, it's not beat. He's trying to kill them.
For real. He's actually in a different league. He's not even trying to capture, no lock away.
Exactly. He's trying to kill. Like that. Fam.
It's actually different. Moving on, if that's it, to the third anime, Undead Meadow Farce.
Yes,
a low-key sleeper. This is the one that this is what I thought you call a real sleeper, because never expect this to be so good. I'm just gonna get your overall, like I've been doing for the rest, overall experience, viewing wise.
Yeah, I saw this show and I wasn't sure about it, but Rajal said to me like, oh, he was enjoying it, so I was like, okay, cool. I'm a dive in. I just need to stop delaying, and bam, this show is easily probably let me just think. Definitely in my top 3 best shows of the season by far. Like, it's so clear of a lot of the other stuff that I was watching this season. You know, kind of brought back that Vanitas feeling, and you know, we both love that show. And just because like they're going to Europe, you know, and you know, you got the vampires, you got the werewolves, you got the zombies, and then you got like people like Sherlock Holmes in the series. Like, bro, this Moriarty, bro, fam, and the mystery as well, and the dynamic between Aya and Shinichiro, I think Suguru. Yeah, man. Just a great watch, man. Like they cooked, man. That's all I can say. They cooked.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But such a great like viewing experience, and not predictable. That's what I love. Like you said, just, you know, the viewing experience in regards to just not staying in one place. There's a lot of being in Europe. also being in countrysides, being in forests. It's just so kind of refreshing this season, and it was one anime of the season that I definitely, when it's coming out, I was excited to watch. And there was nothing about me, there's nothing tedious about this watch. Sleeper hit.
Nope.
Everybody should definitely watch it. What was your favorite mystery? I need to know. Was it the family of vampires, the diamond heist with Lupin, the abductions with the village girls? Which one was hitting for you?
I have to say the vampire one, just because like I just had no idea who it could have been, you know. And yeah, I really liked how they explained it, because that was obviously the first one, but I really liked how they explained it. It came together. It made sense. Like, and and it was kind of tragic as well, because it's just so messed up that he killed his mom to try and get his dad to act against the humans. It's crazy. It's sad as well, but you know, and then it's crazy how he just kills him. Like, that's another thing. He just killed him. He's like, yeah, you're dead now. And then they leave. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, what was your favorite mystery?
I would definitely. I think it was the Diamond Heist with Lupin and Phantom Opera, and I think it's just like the London aesthetic, as well as Lupin just being one of the funniest guys. Man was telling them the time, the place, where he's gonna be, and then pulling up. I'm like, what kind of uber confidence? What kind of guy are you? He's so different, and it also kind of like led to, you know, us getting like the wider picture of Aya's, who took Aya's body, and the mystery surrounding that, and you know, the group or faction start to get a little bit of relevance in the story. And it felt like the Diamond Heist was when things really proper started heating up, and you know, it kind of led to everything else. Like, I think Diamond Heist led to the village arc and stuff like that. But for me, definitely gave the Benitez vibe, like 100% gave the Benitez vibe, and like, oh my days, it is outstanding. But I told you, it's like, it's so well done in regards to the dialogue and exposition, and anytime there's any like long formed spoken word by the cage user and stuff like that, it's never dragged out. Like, it's always precise, it's always organized, it always makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? And then when you're like just reflecting on what you just watched, it's just so well balanced, and that's what I loved about it. Because, you know, a lot of other shows, they will drag on the mystery and drag on certain points, but it was like, it always had the kind of same kind of formula in regards to, it was like 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, we figure out, or this is what happens. Did you like that as well?
Yeah, I think they did a good job of not making it feel dragged out, and then the action, they did good to balance the mystery with the action as well. Like, okay, we've solved this mystery, now we kind of switch into more action scenes, and like, you know, you had Jack the Ripper versus Suguru. That was crazy. And then Suguru versus the werewolves as well, and some of those guys from the guys in the white suits. I forgot the organization, but you know, they did a good job of keeping you on your feet, you know, and making sure things didn't get stale.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my favorite fight was Shizuku, the bodyguard, versus the female vampire, Carmilla. And part 2 of the fight was funny as well.
A lot of tension between those two.
So much. Hey, certain people are out of breath. Certain people were blushing. It was crazy. Mid-fight.
Crazy.
Mid-fight. I've never seen somebody blush with a gun in their hand. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. If that's all you have to say, we can move on, unless there's any other thoughts on the series. But I would definitely say it's a must-watch. This one, if you didn't catch it, I hope you stopped and went to watch it, then came back to it. Would you agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, I think this is that if you want to watch any show from this season, which isn't one of the popular ones, definitely this one because it slipped under the radar for a lot of people, I reckon.
100%. Next up, a problematic anime that we might not see the end of anytime soon. You probably guessed it, Zom 100. I know this one is the one I kind of forced you to watch, and I'm surprised you kept up with it. Because you weren't vibes on it or enjoying it that much. Let them know, like, why. What was your what about it didn't kind of draw you in?
I think like from episode 1, I never really fell in love with it. It was just like, okay, I don't know. I just felt really disconnected from the main character, and then because everything kind of goes through him, it kind of made me feel disconnected from the rest of the series, the story. I understand like he was in the abusive company, and I think a lot of this is just me being a bit insensitive too, because I was just like, brother, just leave. And then a lot of the stories, like, okay, with Kensho, like that guy is comedic relief, but he's not funny. Like every time he's just getting his cheeks out, and I'm just there with a straight face because like I didn't laugh. Like, it's not funny. But and then I don't know. And then I understand like his perspective is like, okay, I'm trying to live in this world without with zombies. I don't care about the zombies. And I think that's a unique perspective to have. A good one, although it's not realistic, but obviously it's not meant to be. But I don't know. I'm just like, bro, I understand, but like I just can't relate to the mindset, because even if I'm trying to live my best life before I get turned into a zombie, I'm still trying to be aware. Like the way he is so casual, it just kind of throws me off, and I'm not expecting him to be super duper in survival mode. But I'm just like, bro, just have some seriousness. And then like him being able to rugby's tackles or zombies, I'm like, bro, you're not that. It doesn't make sense to me. And then I just haven't really enjoyed any of the episodes. It's just like the one thing that's a pretty big chore to watch. It's just not for me, and I understand that.
I hear it. That you explained it very well. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I understand. I understood what you mean, especially with Tendo. Like he's so like reckless, and is very like, you know, super unrealistic, like to the extreme, with the stuff he's doing and how he's living and stuff like that. And with Kensho as well, Kensho just needs to keep his clothes on. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that was there was one time when the scene when he was trying to attract the zombies, and they were trying to and bro was butt naked, not just standing. He was stupid. Are you mad? And then saying zombies come and get me. I was like, you could have done that with your clothes on. I said, I don't think zombies understand the concept of you being clothed and you not being not clothed. Bro, you did that for you. You wanted to be naked. I was vexed. I was like, Kensho, what problem do you have, man? Why do you always? It's crazy. But I would say for me, it was just like a funny watch. Not like the Kensho part. I think there was no really, like, there were some parts it wasn't really, it didn't hit, but there was other parts that, like, you know, just because his character was very aloof and very relaxed, it just showed like the comedy aspect there. Like especially when, like, say for example, when they gonna transport the fish to make sushi, but he's lying like he doesn't want sushi. He's acting like he's doing this. Let's, because it's the right thing to do. But man's just doing it for sushi. He just wants to eat stuff like that. I think that's what I enjoyed, and his mentality outside the fact that he should have just quit his job. Like, bro, just quit. That's all you had to do. You know what I mean? Work on yourself. Quit. Like that was crazy. But his mentality to now kind of be free was kind of refreshing. That even in this like the most like worst of times, he sees this as an opportunity for life and to find some sort of enjoyment, and that's kind of what I kind of enjoyed about it. Yeah, so overall you wouldn't recommend this one? Well, it's not going to end as well, so I wouldn't recommend it either.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think the delays have just made me feel like I'm suffering for longer, because like this is still on, it's just not finishing, and it doesn't seem like it's finishing anytime soon. The irony of this having terrible production when this is about a guy who was in a company that was overworking its employees is just it's just very rich. But yeah, every episode I just feel like, bro, I just why is it not finished yet? But you know, I don't blame the studio. I just blame the people above them who clearly put them on a poor schedule. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel like I might just like, if it doesn't come out within the next month, it's gone, bro.
Wow.
I'm sorry, man.
I don't blame you. That, you know, I can't even complain with that. Like I could not even judge you at all, because a month and a bit and you still haven't finished after you started in, was it beginning of summer? That's crazy.
Fam,
That's absolutely wild.
It's the K or G-san all over again.
For real. Moving on, we have just a couple left, and then some of our own thoughts over other episodes. We have Bleach. Bleach was a odd one, because it's just like everything I've come to expect of it, but quality wise it's always cold. I don't know, I've really fallen in love with the Quincy's this season. I think they're just cold. The way they're just flexing on everybody, like how are they trying to steal Bankais and they don't even need Bankais? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Like they figure out a way to combat them stealing Bankais. They say, instead of saying, "Oh my days, they found something out," they're like, thank you, because now we can use our true ability. What do you think about this season of Bleach, bro?
Oh, fam, like this is, you know, everything I wanted from the adaptation. They adding stuff. They are making the scenes better, restructuring things. They are really, you know, because I didn't believe them when they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make sure this is very different to the manga." I was like, okay, sure, but the changes they've been making have really impressed me. The way, like, just small things, like obviously Shinji's Bankai, but like giving him a new OST that was clean, and the way they did the Blade is Me, that whole, and everything but the rain, that flashback, I think that was this season. Yeah,
it was.
That was spectacular. Really tugged on the emotional heartstrings, and it gave me the atmosphere especially when he's forging the Zanpakuto, and then I'm hearing like they've given respect to the Zero Squad in the episode that came out today, which is great, because that was probably one of the biggest disappointments in Bleach. So to hear that they've been able to rectify that, well, I can't say rectify it yet because I still need to watch it. It remains to be seen, but I'm hearing positive things. To hear that, I'm like, okay, fair enough, man. You guys, you did your thing, man, and I respect you for it. And then also Rukia, fam, ooh, wow, different that episode.
Oh my days,
wow, clean. I was moved spectacularly because that was beautiful. The Bankai, oof, yeah, man, beautiful. Oh my days, the way they did Asno, wow, bro, he was scary, bro. He was so scary. That voice actor, shout out to him, bro. He was in the booth cooking.
I said, in the heat, the steam coming out of the booth must have been different. Must have been absolutely different.
He wanted to get paid that day. I'm telling you.
I hope they paid him extra, fam.
They had to, because, bro, he put in a performance of a lifetime.
No, for real. Yeah, I like you said, I don't have the perspective of having read as much Bleach as Ed and you, but so I can't really talk to the changes, but I have heard a lot. Just keeping tabs of just some of my favorite YouTubers and stuff like that, and people just in general. So I can tell that people who have been like really, involved in Bleach, manga, and some of the other stuff, have been really impressed. What I can say is that I've been like you, totally impressed with the quality, the emotions, and it's crazy because just the vast amount of characters that we've kind of had to be able to see and view throughout this season. Somehow they've done it without them losing their kind of quality and not feeling extremely rushed, you know what I mean? Not like they're trying to rush a fight or a dialogue. It seemed that it's paid a lot of respect to the characters. I think one of my favorite fights was the Kenpachi fight. Total, when you learned his Zanpakuto's name, he total demon, man. Ichigo's training and that cold. But I don't understand how Kenpachi can beat a guy who can think, and whatever he thinks comes to be. He made him have self-doubt. He made him think about his own defeat. I'm like, I wish I had that Kenpachi mentality and self-belief and self-confidence. Absolutely different.
Grammy is oh, Grammy. That's all I can say. That guy got waxed, man. But it's Kenpachi, so I don't even blame him.
True. It's very true.
I put him in a black hole, you know. If I put someone in a black hole and they come out of it, then I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to do now?
What do you do? He cut through it, and man was looking as relaxed as if he woke up on a Sunday morning and was about to have making plans for a Sunday brunch. Always chilling, absolute chilling. It's crazy. What are you expecting from the last 2 episodes? What would you like to see?
Well, from what I'm hearing, I'm gonna see it like just like the Zero Squad, not just getting instantly waxed like they did in the manga after the Royal Guard get their power up, and then the Ichibei versus Yuha fight. That I know that's just gonna be crazy. And I need to see the Bankai. Ooh, yeah, and then the technique. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm just ready to see some amazing combat and some great animation, OSTs, all of it. And I feel like they're gonna deliver. So I'm very excited.
Exciting times. For the next one, I'm gonna hand over to you, as I only watched 1 episode, but it is My Happy Marriage.
Yes, My Happy Marriage. The show that the shoujo streets were trying to gas, and I said, cool, it's on the list since last year. I will be there to judge, to see, and I was there watching it in English dub, and wow. So this is like it's a traditional show with supernatural elements where like it's kind of set in traditional Japan, but there's some supernatural ghosts in it as well. I don't really care for the ghosts, but I understand like what the supernatural element is there for, just to rank the separate clans. But just to go on to what I thought of the show, is it was definitely another one in my top 3. It was really gripping emotionally. This story about Mio, you really, for me, I got attached to her quite quickly. Just her plight. Some would say it's similar to a Cinderella story with the mean stepmom and the mean stepsister, who I think maybe they're gonna develop the sister a bit more. But she was just mean for no. I just didn't understand like why she was so mean to her. And what I really loved was just the development in the relationship between her and the main guy, Kudo. He kind of comes off as a bit mean, a cold exterior, but you see it, you know, melts over time as him and Mio bond, and then you kind of really see how dedicated he is towards her. And then the show just really focuses on her getting more confidence, building herself up, you know, just start trying to take things that she actually wants and, you know, develop as a person. And I really enjoyed the journey we had in the first 12 episodes, and we're getting a season 2. So I'm very pleased, because this was, especially visually, one of the best things I think has come out of this year. It just, the art was fam. I don't know how these men were drawing, but bro, that art, the special effects, fam, it was on crack, man. That was some beautiful anime. I can't lie to you. So My Happy Marriage, I approve.
No, it sounded lit. I did catch the first episode. Kaya, like you said, monster.
Demon.
Actually, monster. The one episode, I felt a lot of anger for the family, because
You'll continue to do so.
I was like, why are they mistreating her so badly and unprovoked? Just saying, "Oh, we're marrying you off," like unprovoked, like they'll call you in, and why is the energy, bro? I'm still gonna finish it, so I'll be able to discuss it when the second season comes out, and we can view that together, which should be good.
Yes, sir.
Definitely a switch up. Reborn, a vending machine. Let me say a couple words on that. This was the this was the for banter watch that I found myself committed to somehow, when initially I started off as a joke, when I was like, look, a vending machine, Reborn, look, Isekai, let me see. Ended up being a kind of wholesome experience. Really, I think some of the distinct things was it kind of showed a lot about the what's it called, vending machine culture in Japan. Just the vast amount of vending machines they have, because one of the abilities that the vending machine had, he was able to turn into a lot of other convenient or when needed vending machines. So wherever he needed something, or the people or his friends needed something, he would swap out for something else. It was a wholesome show. It didn't go along the same lines as the isekais we're used to, especially when we saw like the initial kind of anime images from the anime. So you just thought, this how it's gonna be, but no, had interesting lore and just general. It was kind of slow paced. Sometimes you get bored, but then you remember how much entertainment can you actually get from a vending machine. So let me just lap this. Let me just be happy and just consume what I'm being provided. I don't know how they did it, but they made an anime out of a vending machine, and like the way I watched it, being randomly and unprovoked, I think that's how this series was created, randomly and unprovoked. That's what I have to say. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was an interesting watch, that's for sure. I know you had a couple ones that you wanted to shout out before we bring this season summer to a close.
Yes, I'll just do them quick fire. So Horimiya, The Missing Pieces. I was very surprised by this show, because obviously I've already read the manga and I knew they were just going to be adapting the chapters that they didn't do in the first anime. But I felt like the way they structured this second anime was marvelous. Like, I was actually enjoying each week the way they because a lot of the chapters I didn't remember. So I loved how each episode kind of had its own theme, and it kind of just made me fall in love with the world again. And it's always nice to see, you know, Hori and Miyamura, and it just kind of reminded me why I loved the first season so much. So Horimiya, The Missing Pieces gets a stamp of approval from me. I think that was a great anime, especially if you have seen the first season and you just want to see the characters engage more. You know, low stakes, no drama, just some good vibes. And then The next one, Bungo Stray Dogs season 5, fam. This guy, they did it again. They upped the levels, fam. This has been one of the best anime that's come out from this year. They were going crazy. You had high tension, and the way they managed to conclude the arc, some of the things that they had to go through. The antagonist, fam, he was just so OP. I didn't even know how they were gonna beat him. And then you have the demon, the rat, the Fyodor, fam. It was crazy. Every episode, it was like you revealed my trap card, but that activated my trap card. I was just like, bro, I'm just so stressed. I don't understand what's going on. But yeah, it was one of the best shows that I was watching this season, and it was good to watch as a bulk, because fam, watching that weekly, I would have had heart palpitation. But yes, the last one, this is technically cheating because it started in spring but it's fit in summer, so I'm gonna say it anyway, and it's called Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. I would say the most similar setting to this is Beauty and the Beast, in terms of it's with a girl and a beast, but beyond that, you get themes of like discrimination based on species, developing a kingdom, engaging with your subjects, and the main character Sarafi is just a breath of fresh air. She's positive, but she's not naive, and her attitude really was a driving force in the show, and I think she made it really enjoyable with her interactions with the main male character, which was Leo, and he's an awesome character. And I think the way they've managed to just do the whole season in one season of 24 episodes, and it's complete with, we see them at the start and now we see them at the end, perfectly paced. I was just very happy, because this was a show that I didn't think got talked a lot about. I know the reason why, and low-key, I haven't been talking about it because of certain reasons, but I think it's just it's a great show, and I'm not sure if I'd recommend it, but if you want to check it out, I think you would enjoy it.
I'm gonna have to give that a watch, especially if you enjoyed it, and especially when you recommend it. You've never done me wrong in regards to recommendations. So summer 2023 come to an end.
Yes, sir.
Full season up and coming, actually up and running already. So yeah, really enjoyed this conversation, bro. Overall, like you said, it was a alright season, but as you guys can tell by our conversations, we've had some very, very enjoyable moments within the season. Just to close it off, like we said, just continue to show support, follow us on our socials, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on this seasons, especially the animes that we mentioned today. And even if there's certain animes that we didn't watch or didn't see, because I know like every season there's like 100 coming out, so we definitely missed we missed a lot of them. So just comment or let us know what you thought, or what would you recommend what you watched. But yeah, man, would you like to say your closing words, G?
Hope everyone enjoyed the summer season. Fall is looking, some people are saying it's looking barren, but to me it's looking packed. So you might see that in the next thing, which no guarantees. I'm not hinting on anything in particular. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But yeah, enjoy your days, and as always, drink water.
Yeah, man. Guys, keep blessed, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Deuces.
Love you.